This will be a demonstration of the Cisco Webex Control Hub and the elements that are configured for Webex Contact Center within it. As you can see, I'm on my Toolbox homepage, and to get to the Webex Control Hub, I need to scroll down until I see my demo personas. And I can see here that our administrator does have access to the Control Hub, so I can click here to copy her username, and click on this link to get to the Control Hub. And after I paste it, I can go back and get her password as well. And then I click on our demonstration customer name, dCloud Prod 2, and click on View Customer, and then I'm brought to the Cisco Webex Control Hub. And you can see that I've been brought in as read-only mode, so we are able to look around here, but we can't make changes to the environment. And the Webex Control Hub is a location to configure most of the Cisco collaboration elements and to also look at some of the analytics provided around those elements. But we'll be focusing on the initial setup elements within the Control Hub for the Webex Contact Center. The first one is the users. So by clicking on Users, I can see the list of users that have been configured within the dCloud environment. If I want to search on the users that are specific to my demonstration, I can just put in my demonstration code, and it comes up with the agent and the supervisor defined in my system. And I can click on either one of these to show how they've been configured. In this case, seeing that they've been configured for Webex Teams, meetings, calling, and that Rick Barrows is set up as a contact center supervisor. And I can click on Edit Licenses to bring this up to show where it was initially set up by checking off these elements and deciding what level of agent this would be, and also that he was a supervisor. And you can see a quick note here that it tells you to go to the Contact Center settings to synchronize any changes made with the Webex Contact Center Management Portal. And I'll cover that a little bit later on. Under Organization Settings, as I scroll down, you'll be able to see some of the things that need to be set up within this, such as the domain, and also our directory synchronization status with our Active Directory environment. We can see here that it's been enabled. And this is where you can go ahead and do your synchronization, as well as administer the settings and troubleshoot any of the issues. And further on down this page, we can see that this has been enabled with single sign-on. And this is where you would enable that within the Webex Control Hub. Clicking onto Contact Center, you can see more of the things that can be set up within the Control Hub in regards to Webex Contact Center, and more will be added over time. But for now, let's just take a quick look at this. Here we can see that I'm in read-only mode because this new button is not lit up, allowing me to add more, but we can take a look at some of the things that were configured in here. For instance, virtual agents. Virtual agents are going to be artificial intelligence integrations to third-party systems such as Google Dialogflow. If I click on one of these, such as this Cumulus voice bot, it will bring up the configuration wizard that was used in the initial configuration of this particular virtual agent. And you can see that it is all wizard driven. I can click on the next button, or I can click on the buttons up above to show you the steps to get that virtual agent configured and when you are done. In this case here, we can see if this virtual agent is going to be used just for voice or just for chat, or if this was enabled, it would be used for both voice and chat interactions with customers. Going to the next configuration element piece, this is where you say that you have a pre-configured Dialogflow agent and how you download the intents that need to be uploaded into Dialogflow, the unique name for your bot, the authentication key import, which needs to be done to tie this bot over to Google Dialogflow. You can decide if you want to use the standard avatar or put in your own avatar. And then when you're done, that's as easy as it was to configure artificial intelligence or a bot within the Cisco Webex Control Hub. I'll X out of this and discard it. And next we'll take a look at the chat templates. The chat templates define the chat form that will be showing up on web pages that you want to apply it to, where customers can interact with the chat, either then being directly sent to an agent or using the virtual agent that we just defined as well. I can do a search, again, for my demonstration ID to come straight into my chat template and have a look at it. As I click on it, again, you can see it's wizard driven with easy buttons here to define if I want it to be a proactive prompt that pops up after a certain amount of seconds, like 30 or 60. Do I want to enable messages during off hours? Am I going to use a virtual agent? Yes or no, allowing for the dialog flow interaction. And do I want to provide a feedback form from this environment in case I'm not using Webex Experience Management? I'll leave this set as it was. Going to the next element, it starts to show you the individual configuration of the components that you selected, such as Proactive Prompt. On the left, we can see that this is a what you see is what you get, or a WYSIWYG interface, where anything that I make as a change on the right-hand side will be reflected in the view on the left-hand side. If I add some exclamation points here, you can see that those were indeed added here, or if I get rid of them. And this is how you can define when this will pop up in front of a customer after a customer has been on that page for a certain length of time. When you're done configuring one element, you just go to the next. Here we can see what the form would look like. For example, if I click on the left-hand side, that will bring the edit pane into the right-hand side, allowing me to define what type of hint I want to have here to tell people what they need to put into this line in the form. If I click on the next line, you can tell them put your email address in here in a sample. Then here you can go ahead and define different categories, such as customer service or sales, which is what the customer would click on as they're going through the chat form. And then Webex Contact Center would then use that to route this chat to the correct customer service queue and any additional detail. Next is a virtual agent. And again, if we've defined a virtual agent, we can define which one we want to use that will integrate within our chat form. Our branding and identity, and this is for the bot, but if I click on this element right here, I can decide if I want to show the agent's display name or the agent's alias, or do I want it to show the agents that the customer is interacting with, or just the organization name up on the top. And if we selected feedback, this will allow you to define the feedback form. And then when you click on the done, you are done. And I'll just click on X to get out of here and not save this. But back within the chat templates, you can see that for each one, the website administrator could then click on this to go ahead and see the code that would need to be applied to any of the web pages where a customer would then need to see the chat form to be able to interact with the customer service environment and or the virtual agent that we defined. And next are the connectors. And connectors allow you to build the integrations between third-party systems in your Webex Contact Center environment, such as integrations with Facebook Messenger, the MessageBird SMS environment, Salesforce.com, Google for text-to-speech integration, Cisco Webex Experience Management, and even custom connectors in case you need to interact with third-party databases outside of the Webex Contact Center environment. And as you can see, each of these comes with a link to click and set it up, or the terms and conditions, and also online documentation available right at your fingertips. And lastly, from the Control Hub interface, we'll click on Settings. Key things in Settings are that you have a Synchronize User button here, which will allow you to synchronize the Cisco Webex Control Hub with the Webex Contact Center Management Portal to ensure that all of the entitlements are aligned with the agents and that those are sent over to the Webex Contact Center Management Portal environment. And you can see the type of voice environment that was defined for this Webex Contact Center environment. We see that they've checked off the ability to add attachments to emails and chats. We've checked off the ability to redact some of the content provided within emails and chats, depending if you require this for your own security compliance. We've got a domain whitelist, and down below, for the more advanced configurations within the Webex Contact Center environment, we've got a link to the Webex Contact Center Management Portal. So I'll click on this to show how to get over to the Webex Contact Center Management Portal, but please review the next video to see some of the configuration elements within it. This does require you to log back in. So again, just copy that same username and password. And that will get you right into the Webex Contact Center Management Portal, which will be covered in the next video. Thank you.